Well, Dan, welcome to the Bombers. You've been here for a few weeks now. What's been the biggest change moving from Richmond to Essendon?
Oh well, driving from Tullamarine as opposed to Punt Road is that's a significant change. But clearly the facility out here at the hangar is outstanding. So it's a good place to come.
What attracted you to the role at the club?
I think, like anything in your career, the opportunity for challenge and growth is really important. So I'm just privileged, really to have the opportunity to work for now two of the bigger clubs in the country. Certainly, the opportunity to continue to grow and challenge myself was probably the most compelling part of it.
And you do have a strong family connection to the Essendon Football Club as well, Dan?
Well, I do, yeah, and clearly strong family connection with Richmond. But that said, yeah, my great-grandfather, Fred Hiskins, actually played for Essendon in the early 1900s. So, there's certainly a strong history there. And in fact, also Jack Jones was a bit of a mentor to my dad when he was coming through school in Albury. So Jack and Dad actually have a really strong relationship as well. So there's certainly some Essendon heritage in the family.
You've been here, as we mentioned, a few weeks now. What have you observed in your time at the club?
I see a group of players that are really driven and working really hard. No, they're generally driven and really seem to be a really close and even group. And I see, I've found the club culture overall being extremely welcoming, and that's a credit to the whole club and the culture that's been created to this point in time. That said, there's always room to keep working on things and improving, and there's certainly be plenty of challenges ahead.
You've obviously got to get a better feel for the club, and before you can start, adding your own flavour, spin on things. But what do you see as some of the areas that you might, tackle over the coming season?
Yeah, well, there's already some initiatives we've introduced over this Christmas period. A couple of those initiatives even working on through the Christmas break. So really keen to continue to grow the mental performance and mental skills aspect. I think that in today's environment of elite sport and all the distractions that can come about, that's a really important part of a high performing program. With Luke Ball coming on board, as well as myself, be heavily involved in that leadership development piece, and certainly development of a relatively young playing group and their leadership capacity is really important. And the third thing has been the introduction of some coach development and a program that will assist the coaches with their ability to teach, and that connection between the players and the coaches as teachers effectively. So so there's a couple of initiatives there that we think can help continue to drive the club forward.
You touched on some of the things that we're doing from an administration side of things in the football department. On the field, what's been your assessment of pre-season training to date? And currently the players are going through a really heavy block of training.
Well, the good thing is, and credit to the high performance team and the medical staff, we've got most of the players are pretty fit. I think at this time of year, that's always the biggest challenge any club faces. So, touch wood, the list is fairly healthy for this time of year. A few players had slow build up to the Christmas period, but they're now sort of doing pretty much everything. So that part of it, I'd say is really on track. And then with that, you got some real continuity with training and as I said before, I see training standard so far been really high. Training with a really high intensity. Seems like a bit more of a focus this year on the contested aspects of the game. And so hopefully that'll really hold the team in good stead as we start to get into a period where we're getting closer to games, which is exciting. It
is exciting, and it's very different this pre-season, obviously with the AFLX being introduced to the pre-season campaign. What's been your assessment, and have you had to change things about with the program leading into the AFLX and then the JLT series after that?
Oh, well, training for the first time last Friday, there was some AFLX practice games, if you like, a run, and so that's given everyone a clear indication of what's going to be required. Clearly, it's going to be a high intensity style of footy and high offence, but a lot of rotations will probably be needed. Otherwise, players will be a bit cooked, because it's going to be a pretty tough game to play from a running perspective. Perhaps not as contested as as a normal game, but certainly the running demands are going to be extremely high. But I think it should complement the pre-season and the build up towards towards round one.
Absolutely, and I guess coming from Richmond, Richmond are the benchmark. They won the premiership, the reigning premiers. Can you, in your 3 or 4 weeks that you've been here, sort of see where Essendon, ranks against Richmond and how they prepared and played last season?
Oh, look, I could, but then to be honest, everybody improves every year. I'm sure Richmond, will improve again. By way of comparison, the only thing I can say is that Richmond last year particularly had a really strong group of players that really drove the standards for each other, were really connected. I see that being the case with this group, and certainly Richmond train with genuine intensity and purpose, and I feel as though the same things taking place here. So hopefully that's that holds well for the year ahead. I think it will.